Hello, welcome to Connie Talk. Today, we are delighted to invite His Excellency Mr. AI-Hajri, the Consul General at the Consulate General of the State of Qatar in Hong Kong and Macau to our show. His Excellency Mr. Ali has assumed his duty in Hong Kong since November 2021. And prior to that, among many diplomatic duties, he was the Minister Plenipotentiary at the Embassy of the State of Qatar in Berlin, and Counselor and Head of Non-EU Countries Section, the Department of European Affairs at the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, Qatar. Thank you, Mr. Ali, for accepting our interview. So again, what are the good outcomes to Qatar after the World Cup 2022?
The biggest one for us, the biggest outcome is the ability to see the Middle East in a different light. Unfortunately, you know, the Middle East always been painted with instability and war and conflict. Now, people had the chance from different parts of the world, from South America and North America, and also from Asia, to come and see the World Cup, and see the region. And to be honest, as a Qatari, I feel proud of the achievement that my country have made, but also the safety and security people felt when they went to Qatar, and the enjoyment and the facilities that provided every need, and gave them the chance and the opportunity to meet people from different parts of the world. That's one of the biggest achievements for the World Cup.
And I heard that there are some very good infrastructure that has been built for the event as well. Can you tell us more about that?
Most of the infrastructure was built, in fact, for the future of Qatar. But even choosing the places where the stadium were put to be accompanying the future plans of the expansion of Doha city or other cities or the new city, Al Usaid. Therefore, like all of them were made to with that in the back or with that in mind. And I believe personally, like that, those infrastructure and facilities, which is the best in the world from technological and from sustainability and environment protection, will be an example for the region and even for the world, how to develop a city to be very hospitable, accommodating, and accepting people from all parts of the world.
Definitely the role model for the Middle East region.
Of course, we want to be a role model, but also we want to be the first who take the chance to show people what things can come if we work together, if we have a good kind of cooperation. All the facilities in Qatar was built with partners from different parts of the world, from China to Europe, and those partnerships are going to continue for decades and hopefully centuries to come, built on like understanding the culture there, understanding the weather like in the Middle East. Therefore, that will give them an opportunity even to come to the Middle East for business and work directly with Qatar.
That's very good initiative for sure. Middle East is perceived as one of the mysterious regions with long history. How would Qatar want to utilize cultural, sports, as well as international business events to further internationalize your country?
The idea, we are Qatar, we are a small country in the Middle East, size-wise, even population-wise. But we are blessed with natural resources, which our leader had the opportunity to work and use them in the best way for the interest of the country. And we were able to build an infrastructure, we built an education system, a health system in Qatar, that the idea like that to provide the best outcome for development of a human, like the human or the citizen or the Qatari himself. And we see that clearly on the achievement in different fields, and we see that in fact realizing finally with the hosting the World Cup. It shows the organization, the commitment, the facilities that were able to accommodate like hundreds of thousands of people in a very short time. Those kind of advancement did not come just from buying like a project, something. In fact, it's a long planning system
for sure.
That try to accommodate every aspect of the environment, the weather in Qatar, also the ease of movement between parts of the city. And we were very and glad.
So would you be interested in hosting more international events in Qatar in future?
Of course, but Qatar have a long history of hosting all kind of international conferences. Through the 15 years only, we hosted more than 500 international event and sporting event. And that's what, for us, it gives us the opportunity and the experience to make it better for the future. Also, we're hosting the 2023 Asian Cup. In addition to that, we are hosting the Asian game for the second time in 2030. And one of the most unique things is just most of the facilities that used for the World Cup will be also reused in the Asian Cup.
As a well-established international city, Hong Kong has been positioned as the gateway to China for many foreign countries. Please advise current cooperation between Qatar and Hong Kong. What are some current projects that you would like to share, and what are the future vision to our cooperation?
Thank you for the question. It's a very interesting one. In fact, there is a lot of things for us, both of us, in Qatar and in Hong Kong, to learn from each other. And as you mentioned, Hong Kong represents a gateway to China, and I think it's one of the best to enter to the Chinese economy. The experience, the readiness, the advancement of Hong Kong in different fields, especially in finance and in infrastructure. Personally, I use the MTR most of the time.
Really?
It's one of the best.
I thought Your Excellency would not take public transport, but you would.
To be honest, it's shorter for the time sometimes. We can learn a lot from the MTR. The way that they made the infrastructures, from tunneling, from the exit and entrance, you could salute them for that, because it's not an easy, especially in a very a crowded city like Hong Kong, to be able to achieve that kind of balance. But in Qatar, as I mentioned about, we already have some major investment in Hong Kong. First of all, Qatar Airways already, I think they have investment in Cathay Pacific.
Oh, really?
Also, in addition that, also we have investment in the electric company provider in Hong Kong, and we are very proud of it. It's one of the most successful kind of investment. Of course, investing in such kind of field will be very beneficial.
So you can also learn from each other in terms of how the company runs.
Of course, I think Hong Kong is one of the it's a major financial hub in Asia, without even a contest. But also Qatar is a very successful hub, financial hub, but not only in finance, in education, in art, in also a cultural kind of exchange.
Actually, with that, I want to jump out of our original curriculum a little bit. You know how Hong Kong has been trying to position itself as the family office center for Asia. So how would you think Hong Kong should do to attract more Middle East money to come to Asia, and of course to also enhance the cooperation between the two locations?
I think it's very easy, but it needs to strengthen that, the communication and the travel between Hong Kong and Qatar and the Middle East in general, because the opportunities are very easy to be created. Both of Qatar and Hong Kong have a very advanced infrastructure, have an ease 7 hours mostly between us.
It's not too far away from each other.
And we have one of the best airport, Hamad International Airport, and you have Hong Kong International Airport, which is, I think, is also expanding now more and more. Therefore, for business people, it's very easy to move. And the life quality in Qatar, from having good universities and good schools from different aspects, we have French school, we have American school, we have Indian school. We try to accommodate the needs of all people who come to Qatar. And even the systems in Qatar is very trying to help to bring people more to take Qatar as a center for them to position themselves in Qatar and go to the region around them, which I think we could achieve. Just we need to work more in bringing those kind of trade visits, and increase the kind of familiarity, because both of us, I think, we are very good examples of a very successful cities and countries.
For sure, role models.
That it is very attractive, very stable, and accommodating for international guests or even residents.
So, as one of the leaders in the Middle East region, there must be many good things that we can learn from Qatar. How would you like to summarize the cooperation between Qatar and Hong Kong in 1 or 2 short sentences, and why?
I think Hong Kong and Qatar prove that the size of a country geographically doesn't define the possibility and the good can come from it, or the advancement in business or in all aspects of life, even basic life kind of quality. Both of them are very accommodating for international residents. Both of them are very successful financially and very built on very firm kind of legal foundation that protect the rights and even clarify the needed kind of changes or any kind of development. Most of the advancement of this city, I believe, is done through a group of different people from different fields, making sure that everyone is taking the right step for everything, for every movement or for every kind of advancement for the city itself. In Qatar, we try to build our infrastructure, and most of our infrastructure even finished for the size of Qatar, but in a very accommodating to the need of the residents or people who live in Qatar, from Qataris and international residents that we can host, to make them feel comfortable, have a good quality of life, good quality of education, and entertainment and enjoyment kind of buildings and facilities that accommodate the different taste of people. That I think is achieved in Qatar. And we are trying to advance more in the aspect even of building a different kind of museum that broadcast not only the Qatari culture, but also what unite us as an international community, from different kind of art exhibitions, and also teaching children about the connection between the sea and the desert, and the story of Qatar, and how it's developed with natural resources, with a smart thinking, forward thinking, into a very kind of hospitable and accommodating country for international. And I had many visits even to the Palace Museum and the M+ also. It's very interesting. It's very creative, very kind of inviting. It teaches you more about one of the interesting exhibitions in the Palace Museum is about a specific emperor and how he began his day to the end of the day. On the second floor.
Yes, I remember that.
It's an interactive and amazing, a very rich kind of with information, with art, with beauty, and poetry and science, and just that kind of work. And I respect that people who made that kind of specific exhibition, but also how it's become interesting for anyone to watch it and to see it as a story. In Qatar, we have this similar kind of way of thinking. That we have the Islamic Museum of Art. It's opened many years ago, and it's always been a symbol of a beauty as a building itself, but also to what it's contained. It's a story about how the art developed in the Islamic world, from the simple kind of pots and glass kind of work. We or the Islamic Museum, they made sure that you have the best kind of opportunity to see all the displayed like artifact or about art in the best way. In a very like interactive, very engaging kind of journey. And that's what I think we start to learn about new museum. Our newest museum is our National Museum, Qatar National Museum. This museum is a very unique and very beautiful. And even the building itself, it's inspired by the, what they call it, the rose of the desert.
The rose of the desert.
Yes, but one of the things about it is the building itself is an art piece. And the way that you move in the museum is very interactive. You have the chance to see Qatar from the beginning to the futuristic and what we want our country to be. We have like our own kind of like a specific kind of plan, which is called the National Vision, Qatar National Vision 2030. It's deeply involved in developing the human, the environment, all that what's needed and the health of our people, but in a way that make sustainability and the ability to continue providing that service from financial, from like even geographic and all the things that you need to have that achievement. You need to plan for it. And you need to work very hard to make sure that your plan go step by step to reach to the not the end game. It's more like the stable like progression of any country, like to be able to maintain that progression.
I would love to go and take a look sometime.
We'd be honored to have you and host you there.
I heard that we are going there in April. I hope I'm
Okay,
going.
that's good.
There is an old Chinese phrase saying that gentlemen seek harmony but not uniformity. Although there's vast difference between the two places, Qatar and Hong Kong have worked together effectively with good international trade between the two locations. When and how did the Consul General get Qatar to open the door to Hong Kong in the beginning?
I think it's this question is beyond even like our consulate or something. The relationship was already great between the two countries
For a long time.
like from between China and Qatar and Hong Kong through the history, because Hong Kong is the gateway to China, but also it's a very, very hospitable international city. Personally, as a diplomat, I lived in different parts of the world.
Right.
And to be honest, I found it very easy for me to like to start living and working in Hong Kong, because I didn't feel a difference between like New York or even Doha. Like it's a very easy international city. All the facilities, all the infrastructure is easy to handle. Like for anyone new, like you need just maybe 2 weeks to understand the MTR. I think it's most like maybe 1 week is enough.
So how do you think after COVID, like the city, how is becoming more international again, and how would you invite some of more people from Qatar to come to Hong Kong?
Already, like I don't need I don't need to invite anyone. Already there is a lot of Qataris came. I just was sitting with a Qatari citizen who came for a vacation with his family for 1 week before Ramadan, because we have Ramadan next week. And he called me. He said like, where should I go to Hong Kong, Tokyo? I said Hong Kong is open 100%. Please come and you will enjoy it.
Good. Thank you for saying some good stories.
No.
Kong.
And when he came, I just sat with him and we have talk. He said, my children loved it. They went to Disney World twice, Disneyland twice, and my like family loved the shopping. Like the best place to shop here is Hong Kong, and the best prices also. But one of the things that interesting is like it's a very safe city.
Oh, for sure. Yes.
People are comfortable, safe. Facility from the moving. I said like, how did you move? He said, I hate cars. I use the MTR. It takes me everywhere. And it's safe and clean.
Yes.
The people are respectful. And that's the most important things for any country, to be honest. Stability, security, safety, and like a modern like infrastructure or like a transportation kind of like facilities that Hong Kong is, to be honest, one of the best.
One of the things your friends from Qatar may also want to try to enjoy is the very nice hiking trails in Hong Kong. The natural environment in Hong Kong is not too far away from the city, but it's very convenient. They can also enjoy the natural sceneries in Hong Kong as well.
As you said, like it's every like a corner of the city. If you take it, I think even maybe the cameraman, you're like, is very artistic. It's very beautiful. It's with the ocean and with the tree and with the forest and all the even the shopping malls. You can enjoy the best shopping mall, but you can go in a 10 minutes like a ride into the beach.
Yes.
And a very beautiful, secluded, quiet, provided fully with all the facilities is need. That could happen here in Hong Kong, which is a very interesting thing. People could work very hard, but also enjoy in the weekend. They go to more like a natural kind of reconnection kind of tour.
With rapid post-COVID recovery, Hong Kong is gradually recovering with capital and people from the mainland as well as around the world moving back to Hong Kong. With latest evolving situation, please advise what are Qatar's plan for future cooperation with Hong Kong and China?
As we mentioned in the beginning, I think the cooperation between Qatar and China is very, very apparent to be in a very, very high level.
Already.
We were honored to have to be gifted from this great country 2 pandas. And they were like available for the World Cup audience to see them. And so far from the videos I'm seeing from my friends, from my family when they visit, the pandas are happy. They are very enjoying the facilities that Qatar provided.
Great to hear
and
that.
I believe like even children, when they see the panda, because you usually don't have the chance to see the panda. And it's a very, very cute. The only description for the panda is cute. It's a male and a female.
Oh.
It's Hale and Thuraya. It's like a stars in the sky that we call them Thuraya and Sail. We use them to guide us like to the beginning of winter or the beginning of summer.
I see. So that's the name of it.
Yes, it was like inspired by it.
I see. Wow, very nice.
Oh, thank you. I think all of us could work together to make the Middle East a secure, stable, and also to give a chance for the youth of that region.
Yes.
Which I think with the World Cup, it's resembled. Like when I say that Qatar was successful in hosting the World Cup, it's not because just we hosted it. It's just because we worked with everyone. We had like volunteers from all over the world, from South America, from Asia, from China, from Europe, from America, from Australia, from all parts of the world, to have that chance to learn or with us and to have this opportunity to meet people from different cultural backgrounds, but also to see people like who could be bridges between cultures and societies.
That's very important. And also, when you're talking about youth, another thing that comes to my mind, maybe Your Excellency can also comment on that, is to enhance the youth cooperation or youth exchange between Qatar and Hong Kong and also with China. So with that, we build a bridge for future development.
One note on that, we just had like a group of respectful students and facilities from the Chinese universities visiting Qatar.
Oh, that's very nice to hear.
And they had the opportunity to visit our museum, to meet with our with a different kind of education institute in Qatar. And here I think that the deep kind of build of relationship is hope. And we also worked and hope to facilitate for different scientific institute.
That's very nice. Well, again, like these are very good, and we should continue to do more.
Of course.
For sure. Well, thank you very much for your time as well as your sharing. I think for the audience, it's very useful to learn more about the country, and if you feel like you should also make a plan, buy from Qatar Airways and fly to Qatar, fly to Doha sometime and check it out.